All right, so we finish up status and roles. Now we want to look at rights and obligations. Um, so, quite simply, rights and obligations. If you look at the slide here, what are rights? Behaviors that individuals expect from others. The idea that you have the right to expect a behavior from a specific individual. Um, and obligation is just that reversal of that status in the sense that behaviors that individuals are expected to perform towards others. So what are you obliged to do in your specific status? So if we go to the idea of the relationship between you guys and myself, um, I have an obligation to be prepared to teach a lesson. All right, I'm obligated to do that, and you have the right to expect me to be prepared to teach that lesson. Okay, and in the whole social structure of school, that's how that works. Okay, it doesn't mean that somebody always is going to be prepared. All right, but if they were unprepared every single day, maybe something will be done about that. It's the same thing. Think if you have the right to take your car to a mechanic and they are obliged to be able to hopefully fix that car, be honest with you, and be able to do those things. So that's what those are. Let's go through here. Come on, baby. All right, I'm going to skip this slide. It's just basically telling you, it's kind of in the idea of the terms of a play. Roles or the behaviors are the scripts that tell the actors what to do, which is kind of weird when thinking of a play. But that's why I'm going to skip it because it can be confusing. So don't worry what I said. All right, so role performance. The role performance is the actual behavior of an individual in a role. So what actually are they doing? Okay, them performing those behaviors, their actions. So you skip down to social interaction, the process of influencing each other as people relate. So in terms of the actual performance, so there's a lot that goes on and why people behave the way that they do, why people do the things that they do within our social structure. So let's just go with the idea of two people fighting. It's not typically going to be two people walking down the hall in school and one just decides to go up and hit the other one. There's something, some type of instigation that led to that. All right. And so if you're stepping back and why are we talking about this in sociology? Why would, okay, so if you're studying this, why do fights typically happen in high school? So you're looking at the concept of violence in high school and why does it happen? Looking at it from a broader sense, as opposed to why did Billy jump or why did Billy hit Joey? It's a matter of not so much specifically that, but broader. What are these interactions and what causes that? And you could look at that with any type of interaction. So, last thing we want to talk about is role conflict and role strain. This is a pretty big idea within this and deals with humans, individuals, and a lot of times of what we deal with within our structure. So, if you talk about role conflict, conflict is the idea that condition in which the performance of a role in one status interferes with the performance of a role in another status. So I put the example of hard to balance both work and study. If you're a student and you have a job, it's sometimes hard to maybe get prepared for a test in one day or the following day because you had to work the night before. Or think of it if you're in extracurricular activities and you're involved with that all night long. Okay. So that is role conflict. While role strain is the idea that within one status. So, as the role of a college coach, you have to do several things. You have to obviously coach the team that you have, and you also have to recruit at the same time. You can be in the middle of a season and you have to recruit while you're also coaching the people that are in front of you. That probably can cause role strain. And so, what are people doing with that? They have people that recruit for them. They have assistant coaches. It's not done by one individual. And you'd see this in a lot of other different social structures too, and in different parts of our society of how do we deal with this. And that becomes that last piece of this. How do we manage these problems? We set priorities, we deem what is most important, and we segregate or separate the roles. So as an individual, you you have to leave your job at your job and home you're a father. Okay. So how that's separating those roles and segregating those roles so that you can be best at one when you're in the middle of doing that one. There's multiple obviously ways to do this within the